Hey guys, what's going on? We got another Enhancement Shaman PvP video. This time we are in solo shuffle. We are doing another no add-ons challenge. Basically, I'm going to be doing this until I hit 2400 or something like that. So see how long that takes. But anyways, this arena is Shadow Priest, Discipline Priest, Fury Warrior, Windwalker Monk, and a Presevoker. Rather than talk about the arena, I wanted to talk about the challenge a little bit and some of the add-ons out there. The first big outlier is going to be weak auras. So there is currently a weak auras package out there that alerts you for whenever somebody uses any form of cooldown, defensive, or even like grounding totem or Fiend. And now that's all well and good and helpful, but I think it takes away from the player experience, almost like their skill level. If you don't have to think about this stuff, you just have something telling you. I feel like that's taking away a lot of the skill requirement for the game. Now, don't get me wrong, there is an abundance of information in World of Warcraft PvP right now with so many different specializations and classes. There's a lot of information to take in. And if a new player is coming in, well, they're obviously going to be at a significant disadvantage. But for the veteran players, I consider myself a veteran player, not because of skill level or anything like that. I don't consider myself very good at PvP. I consider myself very mediocre. I understand cooldowns and I know what they look like and what to look for as well. That is one of the big things that I think should come with the territory almost. But what Weak Auras does is basically it kind of removes that. Now, don't get me wrong, you still need the reaction time to deal with it, and you still have to understand what the cooldown is, but the fact that it's removing the requirement to notice what's happening, let's say for instance Paladin Wings, Rep Paladin for instance, they use Avenging Wrath, that's big cooldown. That is something you want to use a defensive for as soon as you can. Another one would be Grounding Totem. This is more of a utility thing. Coming from a shaman, a lot of people instantly kill grounding totems. That is also something. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because instead of, I believe it's the weak aura that's doing this, it might be a different add-on. Instead of just having a regular nameplate that usually pops up, and now I can consider this a quality of life change if you want, but I consider it something different. It brings up a giant icon that passes all of your nameplates and allows you to click on it and target it instantly. I believe there used to be macros that were available to use, but Blizzard foregoed all those. So then I believe a weak aura or some sort of add-on now makes it very obvious and easy to click. Now that's all well and good. I understand that type of thing, but I still think that might be a slight issue. That might just be me being biased because I'm a shaman. It's annoying when I ground and it's just instantly killed. There's also one for Fiend as well. As you can see in this arena, you'll see Fiend stay up a lot of times because nobody is killing it. Although I am doing my best to kill it. I think I'm pretty quick in this entire video about killing it. A lot of people just ignore it. And if you have the weak aura, it obviously brings it up, it alerts you and tells you what to do. So things like that, I think, are more of a skill thing than I think an add-on thing. Also, I think a lot of players, if they didn't have the weak aura, I really am curious to see where they would be put within the arena rankings, because they don't need to think too much. They just have to listen for that noise to tell them what to do, essentially. Now, that's not taking away from the fact that people are requiring reaction time and stuff. I think that is still a very skillful thing to do and knowing what's coming. But at the same time, I think the players that understand cues from the game itself is a pretty big one. But yeah, I don't know. I've heard a lot of controversy. I don't think this weak aura package should be in the game. I think it might be a little bit too much information for players to get. But I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. The other one is going to be Omni CD. This is a big one. Not necessarily in general, but being able to track, and that goes for Omnivar as well. Being able to track your enemy cooldowns is a bit of a That one's a bit on the line for me. Just because you will know when to do your opener, but like I don't know. I feel like it might also be a bit too much information for players to have. Now, from a viewer standpoint, like if you're watching your favorite streamer, and from a view standpoint, I think it is a great addition to that because it allows you to know what the heck is going on, right? And stuff like that. The same with details, and there was another one, but I can't remember what it is. But it essentially tells you what's going on in the arena. But from a player standpoint, I think it's also kind of like the weaker where it's telling you, okay, they don't have a defensive, now you can attack and use your cooldowns and stuff like that. Or they have a defensive coming up in 10 seconds, we need to kill now type of thing. If you don't understand their cooldown management, like again, new players are definitely going to struggle. So I can understand from that standpoint, but I genuinely feel like add-ons have taken over PvP, and I think it's kind of sad. But you know, from a viewer standpoint, I think it helps, and it helps people to learn as well as reviewing your arenas as well. Omni CD is definitely great for tracking enemy cooldowns, your own cooldowns, and your teammates' cooldowns to see if you overlap or anything like that. I think it is a great review add-on, but not so much for the in-game add-on. I don't know. Maybe I'm on my own with that one, but it definitely is. And after doing this, I understand that the Blizzard UI is definitely not optimal for PvP. It has gotten better with the trinket tracking as well as interrupt tracking. Not necessarily who interrupted, but who is interrupted and for how long, as well as who is CC'd type of thing. I think those are great additions to the Blizzard UI. But the other thing is going to be Gladius. It's essentially, so what I found is Gladius doesn't know how to track the Preservation Dragon's cast bar sometimes when they're doing the charge up skills and stuff like that. So I've definitely found the base UI much better for that situation. But it tracks DRs and stuff like that. So if you didn't know, if you stun somebody after the stun, I believe it is either 20 or 18 seconds before you can stun them for a full duration. Every time you stun them within that, they gain a diminishing return of 50%. And then after you do that, I think it's 3 times, they are immune for 18 or 20 seconds. Those are important counters, and I understand using a form of weak aura or add-on to track that, but I think the players that understand that without needing that are like exceptionally skilled, right? So like if you look at the top rogues, I feel like they could probably play without that, but some players won't understand that or stuff like that. So I can understand from a standpoint where you don't want to be tracking all this information, or maybe it's too much information to track. It can be frustrating. But I feel like that comes with the skill. I mean, I've even watched some streamers play League of Legends lately, and even add-ons in there have come up with like tracking your gold per minute or whatever, jungle camps, even some things predicting where people are going and stuff like that. And I think that's kind of insane. I don't see how that's even allowed. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm on my own a bit with all this. I'm not sure. Do let me know your thoughts on this. But again, I truly think weak auras might be, if weak auras was removed, I'd probably be happy in general. I think it's way too much information, that weak aura package. One, alerting what you're doing or what the enemy team is doing, rather than having you learn, because I feel like a lot of players have become complacent and relying super heavily on these weak auras, as well as like killing Siphines, grounding totems, stuff like that. It definitely has gotten a bit out of hand. I can understand from a PvE standpoint, but again, if the game is designed for third-party add-ons to help you, I don't think it's a good design, because all the information for the game should be brought in for the game, right? So everything should be given to you within the game. And recently I've started raiding without deadly boss mods or the big wigs or whatever it is, and it's definitely helped with my attention to detail, right? And it's the same with playing these games without any add-ons. It's made me more aware of what's going on than it has when I do play with add-ons, because I'm not just looking over at an icon. I'm actually paying attention to the players, their casts, and stuff like that. I'm not relying on add-ons to tell me what to do. So yeah, but yeah, the warrior here gave up. I don't know if he was frustrated or if his team just started yelling at him or something. I'm not sure. I get, like, one thing, don't be a dick in these arenas. I think Supati said it once, where you just turn off your chat and go about your day. Don't yell at your teammates. You never know if they're a new player. You never know if they're learning a new class. You don't know anything, right? So there's no reason to yell at somebody, especially in the lower rankings. There's no reason for it. No reason at all. So be kind to one another, especially in the lower rankings, because you never know what kind of player. Maybe they're a PvEer that wants to learn how to PvP. Don't push people away from doing PvP, because it is a dying part of the game. But anyways, guys, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Laters!